Today on episode 243 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, College Football Corner, a new team builder, the NFL Week 13 pick show, and the TCF Top 3 of Thanksgiving meal items. Let's roll. Hello and welcome back to Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Today is episode 243. Make sure to find us on X at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like as well over there. For all of our content in video form, go on over to YouTube and subscribe there. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there as well. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars, whatever you can, wherever you get your podcasts at. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF. And, of course, the man that I'm joined with today, that is Zach at ZLiliaTCF. Maddie might be hopping on here. Maybe not. We don't know. Either way, follow him on X at schools_01. Zach, we are officially in winter, dude. We went from like 55 to 15 in the matter of a couple days. This stinks.
Yeah, it is cold, and seems like everybody's got like a cough or something, like the sniffles. It's very annoying because you just feel like everyone is going to get you sick nowadays. That's what sucks this time of year. Though the weather, though, I hate the cold. It sucks. You always go, man. It's like 9 degrees one day in the summer. And you're like, man, I wish it was whatever. And now you're like, nope.
I have zero problem with like snow and all that good stuff. It's anything under 20 with the wind is not fun.
No. Well, I can at least take the wind when you're golfing and it's like whatever. But now when you're like, it makes it even such bitter cold. That's the thing. It's just bitter cold.
Yeah, and with all the sickness, having a 1-year-old too is really, really fun dealing with everybody and their brother being sick this time of year.
I bet he loves coming home from daycare and sharing germs with you.
Yeah, and even like holiday season too. I mean, luckily, like my job, like I'm pretty. I don't want to say immune. That's going to get me in trouble here. Knock on wood. I'll be sick within a couple days, but like I have a pretty good immune system. But I mean, holidays added in with daycare, it's just. You can't escape it, you know?
No.
But it is what it is, you know? It's all, we sit here and complain about the weather like we haven't lived in north central Illinois our whole lives. So
it's always that thing. It's like you complain about the weather and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't live in Illinois.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is, but you know, it's going to be a start to another brutal winter. With that being said, I have to go get my snow fence put up today. So.
Well, it makes you really appreciate summer.
Oh, 100%. I think we do a pretty good job of that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we golf a lot, but just being outside and, you know, enjoying barbecues. And, I mean, even me and my son just go hit golf balls around the yard. You know, not every night during the summer, but, you know, when it starts to cool down a little. Like, it does, like you said, makes you enjoy when it's not.
Well, the best part is
30-mile-an-hour wind.
The best part is when it's like 35 degrees. It's just like everyone has like short sleeve shirts on. It's like, oh, this is great. It's like,
Exactly. Well, let's jump into things. As always, we've got sinkers and floaters to kick us off. And Zach, my sinker this week is something that I used to enjoy, and even as an adult, have enjoyed from the comforts of my own phone, and that is Black Friday shopping. Because Black Friday sucked this year. Sucked. And I know
it's Black Friday month. At this point,
you're right, but I feel like because of, I don't know, I mean, I took like 2 economics classes in college, but I feel like the economy is not great, and I think that has like, there was a ton of like TikTok videos of people like showing they go to a Black Friday sale and they flip the sign up and it's actually not on sale. But
that's always been the thing where I'm just saying people think they're getting these great deals. And in a way, they're really not. Like, yes, they are great deals, but like, in a way, at some point, they're making money.
I got a 50-inch TV last year on Black Friday for $90.
Well, yeah, TVs are crazy cheap nowadays, though.
And I know I wasn't looking like super crazy this year because we don't need as much. But like, I don't know. I just feel like all the Black Friday deals suck this year, and I'm sure it has something to do with the economy that I don't know anything about. But
I
didn't
think
feel
Black
the same.
Friday's always been an overrated thing.
I would disagree with you on that.
Well, it's not one day anymore. That's when it used to be cool, is when it was one day.
Yeah.
You had to go to the store and get it. But like it starts at the beginning of November now.
Yeah. Even like that TV I got last year, I'm fairly certain I bought that online 2 weeks before Black Friday.
Because what I'm saying is, I used to like when you had to go like at midnight, Thanksgiving night, you had to go stand in line, get this stuff. Now there's no thrill to it anymore.
So yeah, I'll just be honest, dude. Black Friday sucked this year. I don't care what anybody says. So what's your sticker this year?
My sinker is the 6 or 7 guys who tried to go after Biz Nasty in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
And the main thing is, people are getting way too comfortable nowadays in life. You got to realize that like there's always somebody in an area who can most likely beat your ass.
Yes.
And especially when you're drunk and these guys are just being stupid and they went after him, and they were at a steakhouse, and
yeah, some restaurant, some chain restaurant.
6 or 7 golfers look exactly like you would think. They went after they were just being stupid. They were getting alcoholic drinks and stuff.
Well, they were being ignorant to the staff.
They're being ignorant.
Another
problem. Pushed one of the people there, and so he got up, did something I would never do because I am not a real man, I guess. He went over and said something to him, and then they like fought all the way over to like a CVS across the street. And these guys looked like they got beat up by about 4 guys, and it was one guy.
Yeah.
You got to realize that there's most likely someone, like I said, in the area that can beat your ass and is in some kind of like former athlete or something like that.
I think I can't remember what comedian, but I know we've heard it a million times. Like the thing with UFC is you don't know who's a fighter unless they have cauliflower ear. You don't know who has some sort of black.
And it's not just UFC. There's like the PFL, all those. Any of those guys, if you see them in public,
football players
can hurt you very badly.
Yes. Yeah, tough look for those guys. But
what I'm saying is, just people in general, just get too comfortable. Like you got to know that there's consequences to being an asshole.
Exactly, and like that's what I'm saying. Like I know I only bartended for like 2 years, but like that taught me so much about like just to be nice, and like you don't know what like waiters and servers and bartenders are going through. Like you don't need to be
you also don't know who is standing there going to defend them too.
Exactly. So yeah, shout out to Biz, man. Good. I mean, it feels like a simple concept to just be nice to people and not be a jerk, but apparently
it's also kind of a hard concept of going up and stopping it. I couldn't do it.
I'd like to say I could, but you never know until you're
in the moment. And like right now, you're like, oh yeah, I would easily do it. In the moment, you're like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout out to Biz, man. That was crazy. My floater is football rivalries. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but the amount of fights yesterday that happened during rivalry week was insane.
Like, well, what floater should be is
planting the flag.
Yeah, planting the flag in the middle of a field. Like it's just, what was it? 4 fights came out of doing that.
Yeah, at least 4. Yeah. And here's my take on it. And I know some people aren't going to like this because you shouldn't fight. It's not something that you encourage. But if you want someone to not celebrate on your field, beat them at football. Ohio State waited until after the game to put up any fight.
And then they had that player who was defender for Ohio State, and he's like, you can't plant that flag. It's like they beat you. I understand, but I also have no problem with the other team getting mad, and like if you're gonna pull the flag down, whatever, don't like cause a real fight. But I mean, it's a rivalry. That's fun. I mean, that's cool. That's what you want. It's the mace, which gets me. That's insane to do that. Like, what are you doing?
Yep, it's a heated football fight, and we're pulling out pepper spray.
Like there was.
That cop should be fired. I don't.
Maybe there were some punches, though. No one got really hurt. That's a fight.
Also another thing, and I know you'll agree with me on this. If you're in a football fight, do not take your helmet off.
Oh yeah.
What are we doing?
I didn't notice there was a few times during the fight you look over and guys were putting their helmets back on.
That's what yes. Me and my wife were watching highlights of it last night, and I said, if anything, if I'm in a football fight and I don't have my helmet, I'm picking
Well,
somebody else's helmet up and putting it on my head.
it's like that loser from Notre Dame who punched the guy from USC right in the face with his mask on.
So dumb. Yeah, I don't understand. Like I said, I think it's the amount of eyes that were on it yesterday. And of course, there's people that are gonna be like, "Oh, this is a black eye for college football," and it was a Gus Johnson who was just being an absolute dork on the Ohio State call. It's like,
I don't know if you like Gus Johnson or not, but man, that sucked. I mean,
dude,
did you hear him when that when they intercepted the ball? He was like the happiest man of all time.
Yeah, these are grown-ish men. They're young men, but like their testosterone's high. And like you said, though, I also said the same thing to my wife. Is like, I don't have a problem if you want to celebrate on someone's field, but also as a coach, I don't know that I would be. Obviously, I don't want punches thrown and crazy fights, but if you want to defend your, here's my thing.
Yeah, if it's just a whatever. I mean, it's a lot of people in a big area trying to kind of push each other and stuff. I mean, that's fine. It's a rivalry, but like,
yeah,
you just don't want to go too far.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like my biggest thing on this is like Ohio State. There was a video of the guy, the defensive player. He's like, they can't plant their flag on our field again. It's like, yeah, the key word there is again. Maybe
stop you
them
lost
on the football field, and you don't have to worry about that because Ohio State showed zero spine for 4 quarters, and then they want a fist fight after the game. It's like just
Ryan Day might be one of the only coaches to be in the playoff that's going to get fired.
He'll be a great coaching for the Bears next year.
No, that would be something else.
What's your floater?
My floater is eating so much food. I mean, on Thanksgiving, I ate almost like a whole pumpkin pie. And then just the food you eat before that. I mean, it's the holiday of just being just a fat ass.
Yes. For the first time in a very long time, I just took one big plate. And we also got very lucky this year that we only had one Thanksgiving and not multiple on Thanksgiving. But I took one big plate. I loaded it up. Literally everything on the spread I think I had on this plate. But I only went back for one dessert plate. And the reason it wasn't even something that I like consciously was like, I'm going to do this. I just sat down and watched football and forgot to get up and go get more food.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Me and my dad were the last two at the table, and I go, "This is not a good look for us." But yeah, it was good. It's just a holiday of just eating so much food.
Yes, and the desserts, man. I almost wish that, like I said, I think I was thrown off because I really didn't eat the rest of the day after my giant plate. Now, granted, I probably consumed 4,000 calories in this one plate, but it's because I'm used to having a second Thanksgiving to go to. But when you don't have one, I almost wish that they would have just held the dessert table off for like 2 hours and let me digest because I didn't feel like I got a chance to fully.
That's Thanksgiving though. You just got to keep moving.
But I almost need like a coach to say, hey, we're gonna keep these off in the pantry until 3:00 because we just ate at 1. At 3:00, then we can go crazy because I feel like
next year I have a thing for us to do next year. I seen Taylor Lewan did it. We have to weigh in at the beginning and see who can gain the most weight throughout the day.
Oh, that sounds like a bad idea, but also a great idea at the same time.
Like we should do like almost like next year, like the month of November, we do like a big weight loss thing or try to lose weight and then just see how much we can gain back on Thanksgiving.
I'm going to put this on the podcast notes so we can get into this. I love that idea. We'll get back to Thanksgiving dinner here at the end of the show, so make sure you stick around. We're going to jump into the TCF Sports Minute. The Bears 4-8 lose to the Lions. Eberflus gets fired, first time in franchise history. Everything is saved, right, Zach?
I wouldn't say everything's saved, but it's good now. It seems like the coach and the quarterback have a very good relationship. I mean, I didn't think they were going to do it. I can't believe they had him go out there and do the press conference before he got fired, but that's life. I don't feel sorry for Matt Eberflus. He's a nice guy. You can't say anything bad about the character of the guy. I mean, he was a good guy, seemed super nice, but that doesn't make you a good coach. He
They
had a
should have
good.
seen if he'd have taken a demotion to defensive coordinator.
I just don't think you want a guy like that around. I mean, you can't even. You
Yeah.
can't. I know you're joking, but you just can't keep a guy like that in the locker room. I think the players had grown to. I wouldn't say dislike him, but just they didn't trust him on the field, so that did not fare well. We'll have to see how Thomas Brown is on the field now. He's not back up in the booth where you can easily see the whole game. Now you got to see the game from the field. So we'll see how that goes. I've seen Cliff Kingsbury is one of the top candidates for the job because of his relationship with Caleb Williams and stuff like that. Ben Johnson. Big Cat said it on Twitter. This is the biggest hire the Bears have ever had. You have a quarterback. You're in a decent spot player-wise. You're going to have to fix the offensive line, but that's an off-season away. And you got to get this. You got to get the hire right.
There has to be a part of your brain, though, that just feels like you're in this endless cycle because this is the exact same situation as Mitch. Was it Mark or was it Mark? No, I can't remember whoever the coach was. So like
Matt Nagy.
So it's got to feel like this endless cycle of like quarterback, fire the coach after a year, new coach, like that. Obviously hasn't worked. That's got to be concerning. Like, yes,
it's concerning, but for the first time ever, we have a quarterback that we trust. That I think is going forward is going to be our quarterback, and that's something that we've never had. I mean,
but
even
I feel
when
like
Justin Fields
same sentiment has been said, and I know it wasn't as strong as it was with Justin Fields, but it was
not
the
even
same
close.
conversation.
There's not even close to the same amount of trust that I have in Caleb Williams than I did in Justin Fields. I mean, Justin Fields, he didn't progress like this. He didn't get better. He was always just Justin Fields can run, and that was it. You've seen Caleb Williams over the last would be 11 games has progressed.
12.
Even 12. Even with a coach who got fired and was the first coach to ever get fired in the middle of a season and stuff like that, he's still progressing. So I'm not worried about that at all. I'm worried about getting the coach. This coach has to be the right one.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Obviously it's hard to speak as not a Bears fan, but like it just feels like the same thing, man.
It really doesn't, though, because the same thing usually happens with a quarterback when you got to go get a new quarterback. This is huge. If you get the right coach, you got the quarterback.
Yeah.
I would never have said that about Mitch or Justin.
You got the 49ers in San Francisco next week. Get a little bit of a mini bye after playing on Thanksgiving. So, I mean, they gave the best team in the NFL everything they could handle.
I mean, they had 6 straight games. They probably should have lost 2 to 3 of them.
Yeah. Yep. Tough one coming up.
It really depends on if Brock Purdy's going to be playing. He's playing today, but he's pretty injured, and that team is injured. So it just depends on who makes it out of this game for the 49ers tonight or this afternoon.
Yep.
So that's huge, too, because without Brock Purdy, that team is so different.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay exposed them pretty bad last week, and they're very, very less than average, I think, without Purdy, which is crazy.
But also, I want to say, if you're a Lions fan, that game against the Bears was ugly.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. It was a weird Thursday. Now, this Thursday coming up when they play Green Bay, that one, if you come out and look slow again, you got to be a little.
You can't do what you did. You can't kick a bunch of field goals.
Yeah, you got to.
They had plenty of times where they were in the red zone and they should have scored. I mean, it goes to show that the Bears' defenses it can hold up, but they had so many chances to put that game away and they just kicked field goals.
Yeah, I wasn't insanely impressed with the second half from
no, I mean, that's a game where you're playing a bad team per se in a weird spot. And it took, even though I will say one thing, for the people that think that the Bears were just magically going to do something, even if they would have called that timeout, which that's just bad clock management. I understand that. But even if they call a timeout, they got 22 seconds. They're not magically getting a field goal there. I mean,
yeah,
that's what everyone made it seem like, oh man, they missed an opportunity. Yeah, in a way, but they were still probably 10, 15 yards from getting a pretty easy field goal.
yeah, it would. I mean, granted, they made the really nice drive against the Packers and in the late stages of the fourth quarter. So it's
That
been
game
there,
couldn't
but
have ended any better for a Bears fan that doesn't like Matt Eberflus.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep,
He's not
you
getting
gotta
fired,
live.
and if they make that field goal, go to overtime and lose, he's not getting fired.
Yeah,
It had to
I agree.
happen like that.
I agree. Ready to move into some like.
Well, I just want to say
Granted,
good for
the
the
Bears are
Bears
4-8, but I feel like
good for the Bears on actually realizing that like they were in a spot where they were screwed.
yeah,
Their backs were
yeah.
against the
I can't
wall, and
believe they
they
did it. They
had to
joined
fire the coach.
the 21st century.
100 years, never fired a coach in the middle of
Yeah,
the season.
that is absurd. Let's move into the Blackhawks. This is abysmal. They're the worst team in the NHL. 8-13-2, 18 points. This team's awful, and they're regressing, and they have to fire the head coach, but I don't think it's going to matter because this team is just not very good. I know they're rebuilding. I know I'm trying not to get too deep in the weeds here because they are rebuilding, but they're bad, and I think they're getting worse.
I mean, actually, you're getting better from where they were. Bedard's scoring. They just have games where they score a bunch of goals, and then they'll have a game where they get a 2-0 lead and lose 3-2.
Yeah, it's
But
just
they're really nothing that the Blackhawks haven't been the last few years. It's just how it's been. They just can't get over the hump.
yeah,
They're
it's
not like
tough
an
to
average.
watch.
They're not
And
even
I'll
an
be honest.
average. They're not average. They're worse than average.
So I've followed the Ice Hawks pretty almost daily. I get updates whenever they're bad too.
Yeah, not good.
It's just I don't know. I'm trying not to get too much into it because it is a rebuild and it's just frustrating because
But hockey's one of those things that it just takes maybe like a crazy off season or even an in-season change that can really do it.
Speaking of other bad teams, the Bulls have been eliminated from the in-season tournament. I know you don't like it. I like it. It doesn't really matter, but like the fact of the matter is
Well, they got screwed. They got into the group with the Celtics and the Cavs, so that kind of sucked.
yeah. They're now the 11 seed. We were talking the other day. I think they were like the 7 seed and 2 games out of the 3rd seed or something.
The NBA Eastern Conference is going to be just up and down the whole season. I mean, there's so many average teams. It's nuts.
Yeah, this also bothers me, and it shouldn't. But the Bulls are 8-13, so they played 21 games. The Miami Heat have played 17 games. How is there that big of a discrepancy?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a lot. Now, granted, they are 2 games out of, or I'm sorry, 2 games out of the 7 seed. But I don't want to be watching, conference standings here December 1st. But they're just. They
Nothing
give up
exciting.
so many freaking points. It is
nothing
insane.
exciting happens.
It is kind of absurd how many points per game they give up.
It's Kobe White has a good game, Zach LaVine has a good game, or they lose.
They are 27th in defensive rating.
I mean, their best player doesn't even play defense.
No, but that's the thing. He never has.
No, I know.
Oh,
and he doesn't play defense. Kobe White doesn't play defense. I mean, it's just a team that doesn't play defense.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's just the same conversation every week with these 2 teams.
They gave up 142 the other night.
And they were on pace the one night to give up like 200 points or something.
Yeah, it's just
after
like
the first quarter.
You're not good enough offensively to be giving up that many points.
Yeah, 27th in defensive rating. That's absurd.
Who's the guy from Simeon that plays on the team?
Talon Horton Tucker.
They say he looks like a YMCA player.
I saw that TikTok.
That is true.
That's disrespectful.
It is, but man, he's one of the chunkier NBA players.
As a fellow big man, I respect him a lot.
I respect it too, but
he's a thick boy.
Doesn't look great for the Bulls.
And you know what? The Bulls, if you're going to be mediocre, at least
might as well. Dude, if they had a team,
talent.
They had a team like with like Pat Bev, get like Jabari Parker back on the team, stuff like that. Bring back Derrick Rose. Like, I don't care.
I'm in. Yeah, go find every Chicago guy in the NBA and get him on the Bulls. Like I would.
I had no problem with Dwayne Wade.
Last thing on the Bulls here, they had a Black Friday sale. $25 tickets, no fees.
Yeah, my sister sent me that. No, thank you.
She sent me that too. No thanks. I'm not giving Jerry Reinsdorf another penny. But if he had a team made up of 15 Chicago guys, I'd probably spend $25 and go to a game.
You're down bad though if you're selling $25 tickets to the Bulls games.
Yeah, because they stink and they know it.
But they were all weekday games though, so
yeah, against really bad opponents.
They're really bad.
Yeah, that is also very true. So, yeah, it is what it is. But some things that might make you feel a little bit better, despite the sports teams in Chicago, is some delicious coffee, and you can get some from our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. They have the best coffee around that you are going to find. I promise you that. Work with Dom Frederick, but not more importantly, I don't want to take that away from our guy Dom, but they also work with 3-time Gold Glove winner Ian Happ.
I think he would say that too.
Yeah, I don't want to diminish our guy Dom, but 3-time Gold Glove winner Ian Happ. Make sure you check out their website, connectroasters.com. Follow them on X at Connect Roasters. Get yourself over to Bourbonnais, Illinois. Visit the storefront. I promise you will not be disappointed in the coffee you find from Connect Roasters Coffee. So as always, a big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters. Let's jump right into the college football corner. Like we talked about earlier, absolute chaos and pandemonium in rivalry week yesterday. We saw some really, really good games. Obviously, Michigan taking down Ohio State. That's becoming a problem for them.
And Ohio State looked so bad.
Yes, they did.
I mean, that last drive, I don't know if you were to watch it, they got nothing.
Nothing.
Not even close.
Shout out to my uncle in the Carolinas. Tweeted us during the week about South Carolina, and sure enough, they go into Clemson and pull off the upset there as well. South Carolina.
And then Clemson just gets away with it with Syracuse beating Miami.
Yep, exactly. Rich get richer. We talked about this at Thanksgiving the other. Arizona State's a really good football team, and they just thumped Arizona, and then obviously the fight after the game. But like you said, Syracuse taking down Miami.
I want to know if anyone who did that saw somebody else do it, or if they just all did it.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too. Like I thought the same thing. Notre Dame had some troubles with USC. That game was a shootout.
Oh, yeah. I was at one point thinking that maybe Notre Dame would lose, but that pick six, that really kind of ruined it. But
really sealed it. I want to talk about this one real quick. I don't know if you saw. Penn State beat Maryland 44-7. And then Maryland's coach got into it with James Franklin about this. They scored a touchdown late. And James Franklin, I'm not the biggest fan of, but James Franklin said, he's like, I had my 3s and 4s out there. Those are college football players. They want to score. I can only put them on the field. It's not fair.
What I'm saying is there's a college football playoff that they are trying to make, and beating teams by a lot of points helps a lot. So Maryland, get better. I think that's just loser talk. This isn't Little League baseball. This isn't like T-ball. This is college football where you're trying to make a playoff. Dude, these kids are making way too much money to worry about getting crushed. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Dude, shut up.
Be better. Be better.
I think it's loser talk, and that's what. So I have to say, oh, I hope their team's feelings aren't hurt, so we don't beat them by 2. Dude, I'm trying to win by. Look at, you saw Indiana yesterday. how they beat Purdue. Purdue's coach didn't cry about it. That's just how it goes.
Exactly.
Even if I wanted to play my ones the whole game, that shouldn't even matter because you're trying to. It's a resume builder.
It's $1 million industry.
Yeah, you're trying to get in a tournament.
$1 million industry.
Where that tournament is going to make your team a lot of money because you're probably going to have a home game and stuff like that. Yeah. And you're trying. I just think that's so annoying.
Maryland is in the Big Ten. It's not like this was against a team they paid to come play them. This is a Big Ten game at the end of the season.
Go join the MAC. I no offense to the MAC, but go join a smaller conference then. You know what I mean?
Even that is still college football.
But you know what I mean? If you don't want to get beat so bad, don't suck.
Yes, I agree. I saw that. I want to get into the conference championships that are set for next week. I think Tulane Army has a chance to be a really fun football game. Tulane's only a 3.5-point favorite starting that game out.
What we figured out this college football season is with the NIL and the transfer portal, there's a lot of teams that can do some upsets.
Yes. Another one Friday night, UNLV, Boise State. Obviously, Genty is having the season he is.
Look for games like that on a Friday night. There's not a lot of games going on. Those are when the best games are because you can pay attention to one game.
Exactly. Arizona State, Iowa State for the Big 12 championship. I think the winner there might sneak into the tournament. I don't know.
Don't they get the automatic bid?
What'd you say?
Don't they get an automatic bid?
They would get the automatic bid, yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's 5 automatic bids. Because technically right now, like Arizona State, they were 16th, but they put them at 12 because of that. So if you're ranked 12th, you might not make it.
Yeah, it could throw some craziness, and they're both teams going into the Big 12 championship with 2 losses. It does kind of stink. I wish we could have saw Colorado play in that one, but they just dog walked Oklahoma State the other day.
I mean, you talk about, like you said, about the getting crushed. I mean,
Oklahoma State looked like they wanted nothing to do with that football game. From the beginning, they did not.
It's pretty sad. Oklahoma State, they sucked this year.
Yes. And they're one of those programs that, like,
they'll be good next year.
They'll be fine. Like, Mike Gundy will figure something out. He's a good coach.
Teams like that, they can turn it around so quickly.
Exactly. SEC championship, we get Georgia, Texas again. A little rematch from earlier in the season. That should be a really good game on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good game. But, I mean, Georgia, that game was nuts against Georgia Tech. We didn't talk about that game. 7 overtimes. Boomy, what are your thoughts on – 8, sorry. Because the record was 9. Illinois, I think, was in that game.
Illinois, Penn State, yeah.
What's your thoughts on the new overtime rules?
I don't hate them. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
do you think they go to the 2-point maybe a little too early?
That would be my only –
because, like, 2 overtimes is pretty quick.
Yeah, especially if we're going to continue to see these ones that go like 6, 7, 8 overtimes. I mean, I know they don't happen very often, but like –
no, but I think maybe you need to, like, the 4th or 5th overtime is when you go to the 2-point conversion.
I kind of think so too. And also, like, kicking is not automatic in college.
No.
You know
I think you can't just do 2 possessions right away and then boom, you're into you have to go for 2 points.
Yeah, put a little pressure on these kickers. I don't disagree with you there.
But man, that game was nuts.
Yeah, well, Georgia with how many, NIL guys just beat a bunch of engineers from Georgia Tech. It's like,
I think college football had their finger on the button when some plays should have been called.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to be a huge SMU fan on Saturday. They play Clemson despite, like you said, Miami losing. SMU will be the 2-point favorite there. And then just as everybody anticipated in year one, Penn State and Oregon for the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, I like that. I think Ohio State does not – it's funny they're not in it. But the thing about this is the loser is still going to be in the tournament, most likely.
I think
unless Oregon wins like 50-0.
Even then, Penn State's in.
But yeah,
I don't think it matters. I think they're still in.
It's just a lot of where's Ohio State going to end up? Probably 10.
Yeah, it's very, and then also don't forget you got Indiana with one
If
loss.
you look at the loss, I mean that's a horrible a 500 team, or were they 6-5?
Who? Michigan? Yeah,
Were
I
they
think
6-5 before?
6-5. Yeah,
Go into Ohio State and lose. I
I
mean
love
that
it.
is that's nuts.
I cannot wait for the chaos and pandemonium that's about to happen.
Yeah, and the thing that sucks though is why can't they do it this afternoon? Why do they have to wait till tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're never going to compete with the NFL, so that's why.
No, but just do it like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah, I don't disagree with
It's
you.
computers,
Uh,
isn't it?
no, I think it's human voting.
Oh, well then. Well, they still just get together.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, let's move in. We got a new team builder. Three appetizers. It says barbecue appetizers on it. I don't know why they put barbecue appetizers. These are just appetizers. All right. I don't know
A
why we had to
barbecue
throw
is always
barbecue.
good though.
We're just gonna pick our three apps. It's team builder here. So buffalo wings, first row, buffalo wings, poutine, fried pickles. Second row is nachos, burnt ends, and spinach dip. Third row is onion rings, sweet potato fries, and house salad. Not gonna lie here, Zach. I don't know if I'd kick any of these out except for maybe one.
No, but that's the hard decision. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go fried pickles. I know you would go buffalo wing. Some people would go buffalo wing, but I love fried pickles. I'm going spinach, artichoke dip, and then the house salad.
Man, you did you. I think I would. I think the common answer is just to say buffalo wings. So I will take buffalo wings here. Although I do really love fried pickles, and I don't care whether they're spears, chips. Doesn't matter to me.
What is
I like them
poutine?
both. So poutine is essentially to me it's Canadian loaded fries with gravy and cheese. It's not bad, but we all know we've talked about this a million before. My gripe is loaded fries because they get too soggy. I also would have taken spinach dip here. And I do like burn ends, and I'm not normally a big fan of nachos here, but I will go nachos because you did take spinach dip. We can take the same here. But burn ends are very, there's a lot of variables
And
that
that's
can go
not how
with.
I would eat it either. Just give me the
Yeah,
burnt ends. Don't put any. Don't we don't need all that.
bad burnt ends are really bad. So I will go nachos, and then this is an easy one to me. I'm not the biggest onion ring guy because the onion always comes out. House salad, get rid of it. Um, that's the only one I would get rid of. Sweet potato fries, I love. I will eat sweet potato fries just about anywhere. So, not a bad list. We'll see what we got next week. Let us know what your guys' choices would be. Let's move into the NFL Week 13 pick show, and I'm in first place. I've caught him. He had the insurmountable lead early, and we actually had the same amount of wins, but I have less losses.
What a surprise!
Hey, check the spreadsheet.
No, I'm saying
Maddie,
what a surprise that like I did. I went
yeah,
hot and
that's
cold. That's just how we are.
speaking of hot. Maddie has been hot lately. His last 3 weeks: 4-2, 6-0, and 5-1. So watch
That's the
out for
problem with
Matt.
us. We can never be hot all at the same time.
Yep, exactly. So a little bit of a weird slate here. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Um, Bengals -3 at home against the Steelers. I just think the Bengals just don't like you don't want to lose to the Steelers at
It
home.
does. The season's over. They're done caring.
I think they still care.
They're cooked.
And I think Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks statistically in the NFL right now. If you look at the stats, dude, he's unbelievable right now. Not
Those
saying
have translated to wins.
it doesn't matter. I'm just saying he's one of the best. And then Vikings -3.5 at home against the Cardinals. I don't believe in the Cardinals. And at home, the Vikings, very good. Their defense is going to swallow up this Cardinals offense.
Do you mean the first place NFC West Cardinals?
Yeah, I've seen them play. I just don't trust them.
Uh, I've got Pittsburgh +3. I don't understand this line at all. Pittsburgh's a better football team than Cincinnati. Cincinnati has given up on the season. There's something I'm missing here, but
You're missing the rivalry.
I don't think it matters at
I
this
think it
point.
does.
Cincinnati's 4-7.
So you want to beat a team like this?
I will also take Houston -3.5, mainly just because I think that Jacksonville is awful. Houston hasn't even been insanely impressive this year. Now, granted, they're 7-5, but Jacksonville is either they're going to stick around and make it a close game, or they're going to get their doors blown off. So I'll take the chance that they get their doors blown off. Maddie has Cincinnati. He's with you. He's got Cincinnati -3,
Smart
and
man.
he has New England +3. Let me pull this up here. New England hosting the Colts. So I haven't even thought about that game, if I'm being completely honest with you.
It's a lot of weird games here.
And again, typical, the afternoon sucks. We got 3 games.
I'm surprised we have 3 games, though. I'm honestly thought there'd be less.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can have a whole lot less. You only have 2 major networks.
Well, no.
On, so.
The Bucks -6.5 at Panthers, and I got Eagles +3 at Ravens. I think the Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL, right behind probably the Lions. And the Bucks, I think the Panthers suck.
Maddie has the opposite of you. He's got Carolina +6.5.
It's a lot of points.
And then he has Philadelphia +3, just like you. Unfortunately, this is a curse of death here because I also have Philadelphia +3. But then
it's a big boom. I thought if we all 3 have it, it's a boom.
That makes me very worried. But I also have the Rams -2.5. I just think the Saints stink. Rams need to stay. That division
Rams
is
are
separate.
A good team.
I do too, and I also think that they know that they're still not out of it in the West.
No, I mean the Cardinals are in first place. I mean they're still in it for sure.
The Cardinals and Seahawks are tied for first, and the Rams and 49ers are 1 game behind. So
both teams
there's a little bit more.
Both teams would take that after the seasons they've had.
Oh, absolutely. Moving into Sunday night football, San Francisco at Buffalo. Who do you got, Zach?
I got Buffalo -6.5. I don't think the 49ers are that good right now. I mean, even with Brock Purdy, it just seems like there's. I mean, I don't know if Nick Bosa is going to be back. I just think the Bills are on a roll right now at home, and it's going to be a weird game because it's going to be very snowy, it looks like.
That snow and the weather in Buffalo is the only reason that I am taking San Francisco +6.5. I just think that I don't know if either team's going to be able to score enough to cover a 7-point spread.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, I don't even know what you would do. They're not going to be able to throw the ball.
No,
and maybe we should have put the Bills Stadium in the middle of we need to put it like maybe in the middle of the city.
Yeah, or not even that. Like, it's 2024. Build a dome. You have
there's no one block. Yeah, especially when you're in Buffalo. But that takes away from the experience.
I know it's 2024.
Yeah, same. I'm with the Bears. The Bears need a dome too. Only way I'm going to a game.
Monday night, kind of a dumper of a game here. Cleveland at Denver. Who do you got?
Denver -6, and -6. Bo Nix is good. I'm not saying Bo Nix is better than Caleb Williams. That shit is bull crap. Is what I've heard. Oh, the stats are better. Dude, if you watch Bo Nix and you watch Caleb Williams, and you think that Bo Nix is better, you're a nutso idiot. And
I just don't think you know how to read a stat sheet because this.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He has Sean Payton as his freaking coach. But I'm taking the Broncos -6. The Browns, I love Jameis, but they're bad.
They're cooked. Maddie and I both have Denver -6.
Maybe if it was in Cleveland, that gives. I think Jameis is like a touchdown better in Cleveland than he is in anywhere else. So
yeah. Yep, I completely agree with you. Those are our picks. We'll update as the week goes on. We got a tight little race going on here. Maddie has another 6-0 week. We might be in trouble.
I'm just letting I want it to be fun, so
absolutely. That's what I would say too if I blew that big. Moving in to finish things up, we have the TCF top 3, and we're going to do our Thanksgiving meal. So we're just going to take 3 things that we would make sure we put on our plate. So do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first, and I probably didn't have to take it number 1, but I'm going to, and because it's underrated, stuffing. I love stuffing. Stuffing is so good, and I don't understand why we don't have it in more things.
See, I'm almost the opposite. I'm not the biggest stuffing fan.
Oh yeah,
It's too
it's
dry.
like one where you're either hot or cold.
Yeah. I do agree though that like it
And
should
I think
be
if I
more.
had it more, maybe I wouldn't have this thought. But when you only have it like once a year or so, you're like, man, I should have this more often.
I don't I like I said, not the biggest. I can take or leave stuffing. It's one of those things. If I have room on my plate at Thanksgiving, I will add it to it. But if I don't have room, then I skip it. But I do agree that it should be used more than just once a year.
Like
I
almost.
100%
Like,
agree
what if
with
you
you
got
there.
like I got like a cheeseburger with the side of stuffing?
I don't. That's yeah. That's very very carby, but
Well, I know, but you know what I mean.
I,
Like you,
hey,
it's same as getting fries.
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all there. I'm gonna take a very chalk pick, but can I be specific here?
Sure.
Deep fried turkey.
I'm just not a turkey guy, dude. I'm not a fan of turkey. I'll
I
eat it with like a bunch of gravy on it, but I don't like turkey. I really even I mean we had a smoked turkey at your mom's, which was good, but I just don't like turkey.
see. I'm gonna disagree with you, but
Oh yeah.
I feel like deep fried or smoked anything that's not. I guess I should have said anything that's not just baked turkey because I feel like every time the turkey is baked, it's super dry. If it's deep fried or if it's smoked, I feel like it holds it better. But that just might be my
The only thing
personal.
about that is you gotta get the right. You can't have somebody just like willy nilly's deep frying turkeys.
Yeah,
You gotta know. They gotta
and
know what they're
also
doing.
I know this is completely off topic. Do you see a $4 million mansion burned to the ground in Pennsylvania because somebody deep fried their turkey in their garage?
That's insane.
Stop deep frying turkeys in your house. That
Or
shouldn't
just,
be.
I mean, I know they taste good. If you don't know what you're doing, just make the turkey regular. We don't need to. I know you said it's better, and you're probably right, but we don't have to be heroes here.
Amen to that. I'm gonna go. I think this is another chalk pick, but mashed potatoes and gravy. You cannot
Oof,
go wrong.
that's a good
Here's
one.
my tip because I know no one is gonna take this. You take people just make the corn, just a side of corn, right? Take a little scoop of corn, put it in on top of your mashed potatoes, whip that up. A nice
I
little
used to do that at
addition.
school lunches.
Oh yeah, I mean it adds a little extra. So I guess if I had to make a graphic for this, I would put my mashed potatoes and gravy with a scoop of corn on top of it. But
That's what it sounds like. Um, I will go with cheesy potatoes.
ah,
Cheesy
yep,
potatoes are amazing.
yep.
And I guess it's something that's at most holidays, like even not this Thanksgiving, but still, I think it's a Thanksgiving part of the Thanksgiving meal. And let's see here.
There's a big one on the board that a lot of people would take 1-1 that I don't know if you're gonna get here. If you leave it, I'm taking it. You want to do 5 rounds since we get it so we can get a dessert in?
Sure, we can do that. Well, then
All right.
I'll take my dessert first. Pumpkin pie.
Dude, pumpkin pie is mid. All right. If
Oh,
there's any other options on the dessert table, I'm taking that. Like
I
pumpkin
think I
pie.
ate a whole pumpkin pie.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's fine, but there's so many other better options. Like, okay, I'm not going to take it, but the strawberry pretzel salad I had on Thursday, I'd take that every day and twice on Sundays over pumpkin pie.
Well, also like when my Thanksgiving on Thursday, they had like a dessert in the middle of the meal. I don't want a dessert while I'm eating
Dessert should be
turkey.
dessert.
Yeah, come on.
Um, all right. So wait, that was your third round. You get a fourth round pick, right?
Yeah.
No.
No, I got 2 picks there.
Okay. Big one we left on the board. So mac and cheese, number one.
Well, yeah, I
Uh,
can't. I guess I should. I can't take mac and cheese and cheesy potatoes.
yeah. And there's a big one on the board that I'm not going to take because I think it's very mid. Um, you got me in a tough spot here. I guess I'll just take that strawberry pretzel salad as my dessert in the fourth round.
That sounds really good.
It's so, and the problem is it's not um, Thanksgiving specific, but I feel like it's starting to creep in. Like I had 3 Thanksgivings this year, and it was at all 3 of them.
Yeah,
So I guess I'll
yeah.
go
I
there.
think TikTok has really gotten some desserts out there.
Absolutely. What's your fifth round?
Ah, man. trying to think.
There's one. I'll ask if you like it because you can have it if you like it. Green bean
What?
casserole.
No.
Me neither. Think it's
No,
mid.
thank you. No, thank you. You know what? I'm gonna go with a roll. A good roll.
Yeah, good call. Good
Dip it in
call.
everything. You just dip it
And
right in the gravy.
you can make a little turkey or ham sandwich out of it.
Oh yeah, a good roll.
My fifth round pick is one that my mother-in-law made this year, and for some reason she hasn't been making it for the last 13 years because it is arguably it's her sweet potato casserole. And Zach, you know those like candied nuts that you buy at like gas stations and at like sporting events and stuff? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It almost had a topping that was like that,
Hmm.
like a oh my
Not a
god.
sweet potato anything type of person.
You're wrong, but that's okay. This sweet potato casserole was. I probably should have taken it 1-1. I probably ate. She had made 2 big servings of it. I probably ate at least a quarter of those big servings. That was the only thing I went back for seconds on. So I will take that. Now, with you saying those are our 5 picks, you saying you're not a turkey, would you prefer ham? Because no one drafted ham.
Oh yeah, I like ham, but I don't think it's very Thanksgiving-y.
I disagree. But I think ham is.
But I'm not like a ham guy either. I don't really like either of them that much.
Here's my thing, Zach.
I love steak.
I would say that I like hot ham more than I like cold ham, but I like cold. I'm talking like deli meat, like the shaved deli meat. I like cold turkey more than hot turkey.
I also saw something that was on a macrodosing podcast. Like, they say that people don't bring alcohol to their Thanksgivings.
In the South, yeah.
My Thanksgiving had lots of alcohol.
I don't remember Thanksgivings that, like, I just, it's not something that, like, yeah, we.
But, like, yeah, they made it seem like it was nuts that people were, like, were you drinking alcohol and eating Thanksgiving food?
Yeah, but that's the South. I mean, they're just.
You would think they'd be drinking, though.
They're a little off-center. Yeah, no kidding. Let us know what we missed on the Thanksgiving meal because that's going to wrap up our show today. We appreciate you guys checking in. As always, we will be back next week. Big shout out to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Find us on X at @typical_Chicago, Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like. All the content in video form on YouTube. Wherever you get your podcast, we are there as well. So check it out. 5-star review. Subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars, whatever you can on whatever podcast platform you use. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF, but make sure to follow Zach at ZAliliaTCF, and of course Maddie at schools_01. We appreciate you guys as always. That was episode 243 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.